You guys have basically kind of raised me. I've been here since I was, 18, 19 years old, and man, you guys did nothing but great things for me through the good and the bad. You guys supported me, overall through it all, and I appreciate it. And definitely when I had the opportunity to be able to be loyal to you guys, that's the number one option, and loyalty is something I stand by. So thank you guys, and I appreciate everything. Obviously, with Kevin going, it opened up a few things for me, different ways. But me just being able to see the team we had, the guys loving being around them, the fans, the support. I felt like this is the best place for me and the best team. And, I love being here, and this is the place I wanted to be. There's no need to wait if you know where you want to be. There's no need to waste time. I'm a straightforward type of guy, man. I'll shoot you straight, and there's no need to go back and forth and try to figure out any other options and create all this hoopla and rumors and all this stuff. This is where you want to be, and that's what I made the decision based on.
Did the fact that not only Kevin left, but it was to Golden State, did that make it sting even more?
Sting for who?
You?
Man, listen. I understand free agency. I understand, have an opportunity to go where we need to go. But once that happened, I told Sam, what's next? And to me, that's just my mentality to be able to find out now what's the next thing we need to do to help our team win. And that's all I'm worried about, is to be able to find ways for us to come in and figure out how we can continue to win game and be a great organization.
Russ, I know that you're motivated to play every time you suit up, and you're probably going to tell me that you're going to feel no different about playing Golden State. But given the way that series ended, and given the player they picked up, and just recently, how much will you relish stepping on the floor with those guys next season?
You want to say it, or you want me to say it?
I'd rather you say it.
You know what I'm gonna say, but I can tell you. But like I said before, no game is no bigger, no less, no player, no place. And I stand behind that, because I play every game like it's my last, and I go out and compete regardless of who's on the floor, regardless if we're playing Golden State, Philadelphia, Milwaukee. It don't matter to me. My job is to go out and compete, for our team.
Russ, over here, to your right. You talked about how, this is the place you want to be. Your contract technically is short-term in terms of what you've added on. Do you view this, though, as a long-term move, that you're kind of planting your flag in Oklahoma City?
My job is to be able to find somewhere that I want to be and want to play with a group of guys, and I figured this was the place where I want to be. Obviously, with the contracts and all the new CBA stuff, there's different ways you can do that, but me being able to have an opportunity to be able to extend and be here, that's what I wanted to do, and I stand behind that.
Last question, Mark. Sam, when Russell says, "What's next?" What's your initial feeling when you get that from Russell, when you get that question from him?
My initial feeling? The thing about Russell is, the way my initial feeling is, this is Russell. He doesn't look back. He's always looking forward. He thinks about, I think that's a confidence. There's a confidence that comes with Russell that I've seen for 8 years. When we sit at the end of the season or in a hotel lobby or something, and the one thing about him is he's very direct. There's not a lot of, you don't need to interpret things with him. So when he's saying what's next, he's thinking like, okay, so how do we get better? And to me, that was an indication of, like, it wasn't like a inquiry. It was like a unification. And so that was right when we started talking about, well, there is one option that we can look at, and I knew it would come as a kind of a surprise to him, because it wasn't something that any of us had ever talked about, but the renegotiating extension was now possible. So I said, well, here's one thing that could be next. I'd really like it to happen, by the way. So it was basically more like he's thinking forward. But again, that there's a component of leadership that's at play here that I don't think can be underestimated. That this was not, something, as I said before, he had to do, or even needed to do. He did it because he wanted to do it, and that was one of the things we talked about. I said, we really want to do this, and he took it in and thought about it, and when he said that to me, I was like, this is great, because these are the terms he thinks in. Nothing had changed, because all the times that we've been together, I don't think I've ever walked out of a conversation with him thinking to myself, like, I don't know where he stands. I don't know what he thinks. I don't know what he means. It was right down the middle, direct, and I think he understood the gravity of his choice, of his decision. And we're thrilled. We're thrilled with how he decided to move forward.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Stephen A., we discussed this topic yesterday from Redskins camp. Now that you've heard from Westbrook, does KD look worse today than he did yesterday?
Yes, he does. I don't think there's any question about it, Ryan. Let me be very, very clear. Kevin Durant, my position has always been you had no business going to the team that beat you. Had no problem with him leaving. And I've maintained that, and I still maintain that. It's not that he left. It's that he went to the Golden State Warriors, a team you were up 3-1 on in the Western Conference Finals. Not once, not twice, but 3 times you failed to close the door, and a legitimate argument could be made that you choked in Game 6. You had no business going. That's jumping on the bandwagon. There's a difference between champions and those who just came along for the ride, and we'll find out what Kevin Durant is once next season rolls around. Having said all of that, that's the only issue I had with him until yesterday. When I listened to Russell Westbrook, this is the Kevin Durant that in the past came at my man Skip Bayless, who sat in that chair for years, came at me, came at the media and questioned everybody's intelligence and IQ. He attacked everybody. Most of the time, it was because he was defending Russell Westbrook. Even called Mark Cuban an idiot and, all of this other stuff. I mean, he was just on a warpath. All in defense of Russell Westbrook. Because nobody ever attacked Kevin Durant. I mean, you talk about a dude that Kevin Durant may have had the longest honeymoon in the history of basketball. Because tell me, what has anybody ever said about this guy? He is a good person. He is a good man. He is a great basketball ambassador. He is one of the top 3 players in the world. His mama's wonderful. His brother's good people. His inner circle is cool. Rock Nation cats who represent him, I know them. They all good people. The bottom line is Kevin Durant, nobody ever went at Kevin Durant for anything. And he hasn't won a championship. He would usually instigate diatribes against him because he would step into the fray to defend Russell Westbrook, his little brother, his teammate, etc., etc. And then we found out yesterday that Russell Westbrook found out that Kevin Durant was leaving from a text and from social media.
Weak.
You mean you didn't pick up the phone and call his brother and have a conversation with him and talk to him? Let me tell y'all a little secret. Skip Bayless is gone. I knew he was gone weeks before because we talked. And he told me. Management, everybody knew. I mean, we knew it was gone. We talked. That's the guy I'm working with. We have a relationship with. No matter who comes along, it's going to always be my man. Respect. How is it that you're a teammate of this man for 8 years? And a text message or not even a phone call? If it were me, I would have flew to Russell Westbrook in his face and I would have told him, or at the very least call. So it really, really, I mean, I call Kevin Durant's move to go to Golden State the weakest move I've ever seen by a superstar. This is weak move number 2. Because I don't understand how you could not go to that man and how he had to find out that way.
So I agree with all of those things, and I am in no way in defense of Kevin Durant at all. I have nothing to say to defend him. I like Kevin Durant.
So do I.
When I came back to Washington, I went to watch OKC play in New Orleans. He dapped me off like, hey, man, welcome back home. Huge fan. This doesn't necessarily make me look at Kevin Durant any less than I did before, as it makes me know that Russell Westbrook is who I thought he was. See, Russell Westbrook is that dude that when you bring him to a party, when he's your best friend, you're almost scared for him to meet other people because you don't know how to describe him because he's kind of intense. He's kind of angry. You don't necessarily know how cool he is, but he's your boy because he's loyal. He's your boy because he understands friendship. He's your boy because you know no matter what, if I ask you to do something for me, you're going to do it with the 100% of your being. And that's always who I thought Russell Westbrook was. I always thought Kevin Durant had #1 basketball skills. I never thought he had #1 basketball character. I never thought he had #1 basketball charisma. I never thought he had #1 player basketball personality. And he doesn't. Russell Westbrook does. Russell Westbrook, after all that being said, after Kevin Durant, now when you ask him about contacting Russell about his contract, oh, we will talk. Russell Westbrook, they asked him yesterday about not talking to Kevin. And you know what he said? He said, we'll talk. Because we had 8 years together, and you do not just throw that away. After all that's happened, after Kevin Durant leaving for Golden State, after Kevin Durant not calling, not texting, after now even saying, I'm not going to contact him right now about the contract, it's too much going on. Russell Westbrook got on that podium where he could have denounced Kevin Durant in front of the OKC fans. Could have said, you know what? I'm not worried about him. Forget him. We don't need to talk. He left me. He did this. He did that. He said, you know what? We will talk. So it doesn't say less to me about Kevin Durant because I already thought after he made the move and all the things that I heard that it was weak. Because you don't do that. You're not going to beat me, then I want to be your friend. If the Baltimore Ravens beat me in the AFC Championship, I'm not playing safety next to Ed Reed the next year. I'm playing with Troy, and we're going to beat you with my homeboys.
Right.
It says more to you about Russell Westbrook's character.
But it says to me about Russell Westbrook, this is why that's my guy. And if he shoots it 40 times, he deserves to because he is a leader.
I agree with every word that you said about Russell Westbrook, totally. But the reality is clear. You could say it doesn't make Kevin Durant look worse. I think it does. I think it does because, again, the move to go to Golden State is the weakest move I've ever seen by a superstar. So much so that if they win the championship with him next year, unless Steph Curry and Klay Thompson go down or they just wet the bed, I'm not going to look at him the same way I'm going to look at them as champions. Right. He will be a champion, but I won't view him the same. But I tell you this, the kind of man that he is, because Kevin Durant is a good brother by all accounts for anybody who knows him. The fact that he's such a good person, I can't believe that being that good person that he is, that you don't know that it would have been the appropriate thing to do to pick up the phone.
I'd love to hear from him to say why he didn't call him.
Hey, we used to always say, man, don't be my TV friend. Don't defend me when the camera's on. Don't defend me when they have microphones in your face.
I'm not talking about TV.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. When it was time, he didn't show the same friendship that he made us all believe. He had us fooled.
Exactly.
Yep.
That's my point, and that's why it looks worse.
Great conversation there. When we come back,